Welcome back to Media7. We've been discussing the interplay between the media and high-profile criminal cases with Chris Comiskey, Mark Jennings and Glenda Hughes. Another Comiskey client also recently did an interview, again with Campbell Live.
Do you think you'll ever be able to return to your own community?
I don't think we could ever go back there. You know, you just try to stay strong for everyone, you know, family, friends. It's just going to be a long haul.
That was South Auckland murder-accused Bruce Emery, who also spoke to the Herald on Sunday. Chris, both that interview and the one in the Herald on Sunday cut a fairly sympathetic figure for your client. Was that the idea? Was the idea to generate public sympathy? Because that's certainly how it came across.
I wasn't present at either of the interviews. I had media requests to talk to him. Those requests were articulated to exactly what they wanted to talk about. It was really just, they couldn't deal with anything concerning the case, obviously. They just wanted to portray what he was in reality, his family circumstances.
Still doesn't answer the why do it.
Well, the matter was left with him to decide. The parameters were spelt out. They were clearly identified and agreed upon, and then the decision was his to make.
Glenda, again, was that a good idea?
No, look, the bottom line is that these people, when they're under this sort of pressure, don't make rational decisions. And sometimes, although I don't like to actually tell them what and what not to do, the pressure that the media put on them because they're now competitive to actually front up is quite substantial. And in the end, there is this misperception that if you don't front, which is what you're always told, they won't go away. So basically what someone like I do, which is probably going back to my riot squad police days, is I stand between the media and those people so that they can actually get on with their lives. The issue is that pressure is impossible for people that are in a traumatic state or have been badly dealt with to actually deal with, and they need someone else to make those decisions, or at least stand between them. I think if you go back to most of them, they will tell you, I didn't want to do it, but I thought I had to.
You also acted for the complainant in the Whiskey Bar rape case. Why did you get involved there, and what did you actually do there, if it wasn't going to the media?
Well, the interesting thing there was that I was actually rung by a media person who was so concerned about that particular complainant and the pressure that she was being put under by media that she suggested that they actually contact me. Now that does happen, which gives me a bit of faith in the media, and that I actually believe that a lot of them don't want to put the people under that sort of pressure, but because of the competition they have to. So if you actually run me in the middle of it, then in the end the pressure actually lessens. But many occasions I have been rung by media and asked to step in. So yeah, they are worried about it, I believe.
Is that how you feel, Mark? I mean, you're a nice guy, but you have to compete.
Look, I'm a huge fan of a competitive media because I think in the end you get a better public service and a better news service out of it. But I think people in high-profile cases do go under extreme pressure from journalists. It is highly competitive. But I think there's another thing that comes up here, and it's the reasons perhaps why, say, Campbell Live got the interviews with Chris, one of Chris's clients, is there's got to be a level of trust built up between people like Chris, the reporters, people like Glenda, and that comes over time.
Yeah, or is it perhaps because people maybe have the impression now that they'll get a soft interview on Campbell Live, because that was certainly the talk about those interviews?
No, I think you could ask many a politician, starting with Helen Clark, whether you get a soft run on Campbell Live, and I think you know the answer to that. You don't. But if we make an agreement with somebody, we don't double-cross them.
What I'd say to you there, though, is that, I mean, I've been accused of making agreements with media on the way through too. No, it's my job, if I put a client up in the end, it's my job to make sure they can handle it, not to actually stand over them and start telling the journalists what to do, because that takes away the credibility from the story. Immediately you do a deal like that, the story loses all its credibility.
Yeah. Chris, you're a lawyer, you know what contempt of court is. Do you think we're running, are we running the risk of pushing the line of contempt with the way that these cases and the people involved in them are being exposed in the media?
No, I don't think so, because I think there's a different attitude to it today, and I think it stems from about 4 or 5 years ago when the cameras were allowed into the courtroom. I think that was a good thing, because the public were able to see, it demystified the process, they were able to see what happened, and it was just a natural growth that the media got more aggressive outside of the court. I found that if you confront the media immediately, and I usually talk to them, I answer questions so they stop asking them, and then I walk away hoping that that's the end of it.
And in the course of that, you have actually become a media figure yourself. You've become, to a certain extent, a media celebrity. I wonder whether, is it the case that people see you and Gary Gottlieb on TV and you're the go-to guys, they know who to call? Is it good for business?
I think I'd be lying if I said it wasn't. I mean, it's exposure that you wouldn't pay for. You know, lawyers are business people, like everybody else these days, and it certainly helps. You're quite correct in saying that.